Hey guys, this will be my first how-to walkthrough. Alright, so for this one, we're going to be setting up a custom template for painting in iRacing. Um, I prefer to use custom templates. They always have the things in them that I usually need for my paints, such as my logos, certain details, So we're gonna start from the start, assuming that whoever's watching this video has at least some knowledge on how to paint cars. If you don't, I would highly suggest you look up James Petty's how-to videos. They are very good, walking through from start to finish and at least giving you some understanding. Like I said, this is more for somebody who has gone through those videos, has started painting their own cars, but wants a couple more tips and tricks. And that's going to be what pretty much all of my videos are all about. So we will start by going and getting the template. So yeah, you go to account, customize paint schemes, and then customize cars. And just for fun's sake, I'm going to do the Silverado on this one because it's recently been updated and I don't believe I have a template for the updated scheme. So here's the truck. There's this gray button right here, download car template. Okay, so I've got the Silverado template right here. So I'm going to open that up now. Pardon my voice and the general crappiness of my recordings. So, okay, anyway, I'm going to take those files, I'm going to duplicate them over to our truck template. It's just that easy. Now what I like to do is create a folder and I'll say MN shading and highlight. Can't type. That's good. And I will stick these in there. Anyway, so yeah, cockpit hosting. Now you can see it turned on and off. Nice little exhaust marks. No, I mean this is the type of stuff that Matthew does that is just above and beyond. Absolutely superb job every single time. Goodyear logos, and they're usually broken up so you can change colors, you can change the outline, things like that. Whatever you may need, his layers usually include, and they usually have something for camera mounts and stuff like that on the roof, which would be located right here. Doesn't that look like a camera? I think it looks like a camera. So anyway, another thing that I like to do is I like to turn on my wire layer, and I like to set that to difference. As you can see, the change that it made there. Oops, hold on, back to difference. Okay, so you can see that where the background is dark, it changes the lines to white. Where the background is light, it changes the background to dark. It's very, very handy. I usually change the opacity down to about 20%, 25% in this case. Just barely visible, just enough to give me a reference. Don't really need any more. Okay, last part I'm going to do is put in my own personal decals. Once again, this is purely up to you, but I find it's important. I like it whenever I get out on track and I'm riding around and I see one of the cars that I painted right in front of me. Makes me feel good, makes me feel like people appreciate my work. I put a lot of stuff out on Training Paints for free, so that's usually what's going on there. Oh, let's see. So I've got all my things organized somewhat. got a lot of logos that I made myself over the years. That is not the one I was looking for. There we go. So I'm opening the Unique Signs and Design logo. This is not my own personal logo. I'm sorry, that was my other computer. This logo belongs to my two brothers, JT and Lyndon, who own their own business, referred to as Unique Signs and Design. And I use their logo with their permission to help them promote the business. So what I'm going to do, actually I think I already have this. No, I don't. I'm going to duplicate these layers without the web address because I never include the web address. And I'm going to merge them, and then I'm going to duplicate them over to my template. So we have a very, very large logo here. I'm going to duplicate it again because I like to keep a spare copy handy. Shrink it down nice and small, and I usually put one on the back of the vehicle, another on the front bumper of the vehicle, and then I will put my signature on the side contingencies. That's the way it is in almost all my cars, some of the road cars and stuff like that being the exception. Okay, get in the car, get out of the car, fast forward, there's the car. No, that's not the current car that I use. As you can see, Trading Paints is about to update. Now, normally you'd hit Control F12 to bring up the camera details, in case you didn't know that. So, you can use AS, D, W, spacebar, and all these nice nifty controls over here to... God, how did I get this truck? This is... I don't know, I must have just downloaded something on the spur of the moment. Anyway, zoom in. I'm going to go to the front of the truck, and I'm going to lower the camera because we are placing my front side contingency, and I'm going to put it right here, right under the light, right? Let's see, Alt Tab will take me to my next window. There's my logo. Control T to bring up the, I don't know what that's actually called, terrain. No, not terrain, I'm sorry. It's like a change box. Anyway, I hold down Shift and drag the corners, and that will keep everything in perspective, the right size, you know. And you want to try to make your logo look about the right size to fit in. Don't worry about readability so much. And then I don't know if I have an action for saving this. I don't. I guess you get to learn about actions while you're in this. So if you're using Photoshop and you have this nice little menu, there's a button that says actions. Click on that, and then click here to start a new action. We're going to call this 2015 Silverado, and I'm going to hit record. And when I do my actions, I like to turn off all the layers that need to be turned off, and then I go to save as, and then libraries, documents, iRacing, paint, and then there should be somewhere in here, there we go, truck Silverado 2015, save as a TGA. There's my car underscore, and my number is 35554. Do not use that to save yours because it won't work. And then save it as 32-bit, that's the highest quality, and then turn your layers back on, stop your recording, collapse the menu, and now every time you hit play, the action is it will turn off your turn off before exporting folder, save it as your TGA, and then turn your exporting folder back on. Bing bang boom, very quick, saves you a lot of time. Go back in your sim, hit Control R to refresh, and looky there. There is my logo, As you can see, it looks a little funky, and I believe that is because of the contour of the truck, and it looks just a bit too large as well. And I want it to look like it belongs there, so we'll make it a tiny bit smaller, and I'm going to move it down just to see if I can get it out of that bendy zone. Once again, hit my action, go back into my sim, Control R. There's my decal. It looks good. Just for giggles, I'm going to put that on the other side as well. Duplicate it. Move it over. Try to get the spacing about the same. It's okay if you're a little off. Refresh. There it is on the other side as well. Now, I want one on the back of the truck. Now here's where things get a little bit tricky. I'm going to move these layers, the number and the sponsor, out, and then resave and refresh, because I want to know where the number's at on the back of this truck. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to put my decal over on this side of the bumper. It's a nice unused spot. I don't need to worry about it. So I can move those layers back up where they go, and I'll turn them off because they're not really needed. And I'll take my big logo that I saved earlier, and I'm going to just manually size it right down into that spot. Zoom in, and you can see our grid layers. I need to turn those up a little bit so they're easier to see. Make that just a little bit smaller. Once again, we're not looking for readability, we're looking for recognizability. God, fucking flies. Pardon my French. Okay, so put it there. Save, refresh. There's my logo. Looks a tad large. I'll shrink it down just a bit. Try again. Refresh. Boom. Looks good. Next thing is my signature. And as an artist, I've always felt that my signature was very important. You know, I've done several actual paintings, several murals, things like that. I've always signed my work. So that's my signature. I'm going to duplicate that over. It's around here somewhere. There it is. And I always put my signature right in here with the contingencies. Once again, holding down Shift to keep the perspective in check and making the signature just big enough to be easily recognizable, but not too big. Now, I've also built several added features into my signature. As you can see, this is just black. Works really good on light colored cars. But on dark colored cars, I turn on a bevel and a drop shadow, and it makes it look 3D, like it's coming off, you know, the truck. But I rarely use that because such details go unnoticed. Duplicate, rotate 180 degrees, move it over the other side of the car, relocate, and save, refresh. There's one side, looks good. There's the other side, looks good. That's the completion of my template.